If the ocean suddenly disappeared, how long could the Earth sustain itself? The moment the ocean vanishes, there would be a vacuum of 1.3 billion cubic kilometers on Earth. 1 minute after the ocean disappears, large cargo ships in deep-sea areas would all fall to the ocean floor. The intense impact would cause them to completely shatter. 10 minutes after the ocean disappears, without the weight of the water, the ocean floor would start to rebound, which would then compress the continental plates. Intense earthquakes would start happening worldwide. 1 hour after the ocean disappears, the once unfathomable ocean floor would now be fully exposed. Numerous marine creatures, including whales, would start to die and emit a strong stench. 1 day after the ocean disappears, the drastic change in atmospheric pressure would cause global precipitation to turn into frost. The entire Earth would be plunged into a world of ice and snow. At this point, people would begin to realize the severity of the situation and attempt to build underground shelters. 1 week after the ocean disappears, the entire ocean floor structure would undergo unprecedented changes. The crust would become increasingly unstable, and the numerous underwater volcanoes would start to erupt. 1 month after the ocean disappears, the Earth would experience extreme drought, and many plants and crops would start to die. The water levels in rivers and lakes would begin to rapidly decrease. There would no longer be any rainfall in the world. 3 months after the ocean disappears, since 88% of the oxygen produced by photosynthesis on Earth comes from algae, the death of algae would lead to a sharp decrease in atmospheric oxygen levels and a corresponding increase in carbon dioxide levels. Due to the ongoing water and oxygen shortages, more than 80% of organisms would completely disappear. 6 months after the ocean disappears, people's worst fears would be realized. Consecutive high temperatures would eventually ignite dead vegetation and forests. Massive wildfires worldwide would inevitably release more carbon dioxide, causing the Earth's average temperature to rise by 30 degrees Celsius and resulting in severe greenhouse effects. At this point, people would no longer be able to extinguish these fires because freshwater resources on Earth would be nearly exhausted. 1 year after the ocean disappears, the atmospheric carbon dioxide content would reach over 80% and the temperature would rise to 100 degrees Celsius. Over 99% of organisms would have gone extinct, with only some bacteria and microorganisms struggling to survive. In the following years, the Earth would transform into a barren and bleak yellow planet, similar to Venus. According to scientific research, Venus might have once had oceans and life, but due to its proximity to the sun, water evaporated too quickly, increasing carbon dioxide levels, exacerbating warming, and entering a vicious cycle. Ultimately, the last drop of water on Venus disappeared entirely 700 million years ago. The disappearance of the oceans also took away all life on it. This demonstrates the crucial role of oceans in the evolution of life. About 4.6 billion years ago, the early Earth was just forming in the solar system. At that time, it had no oceans or atmosphere, only black lava flows and falling meteorites, making it completely unsuitable for any form of life. 3.8 billion years ago, as the Earth's geological environment stabilized, the surface temperature gradually decreased and water vapor began to condense. Slowly, the water vapor formed clouds and started to produce rainfall. After millions of years of continuous heavy rain, the early oceans formed and primitive life emerged. It is no exaggeration to say that the oceans not only nurtured life, but also act as the Earth's most powerful temperature control system. They absorb most of the solar radiation's heat and distribute it evenly to all corners of the world through ocean currents, ensuring global temperature balance. Without the oceans, life on Earth would not have been possible. Unfortunately, our current actions are causing increasing damage to the oceans. Overfishing and relentless exploitation are posing significant threats to the oceans. Reliable data shows that from 1970 to 2012, human activities led to the disappearance of most coral reefs and the extinction of over 50% of marine species. Once the ocean's ecosystem completely collapses, humanity might not be able to survive for long. The alarm has already been sounded. For the sake of future generations and the future of humanity, please protect the increasingly fragile oceans.